All right, I got a caliber comparison video here for you using handguns here with cantaloupes today. So you guys might have seen the watermelon one, so now we're doing cantaloupes. So a lot of the watermelons exploded with the larger calibers, and I'm thinking that these cantaloupes, they're a little bit stronger. Plus, I intentionally picked the more green ones, so they're not quite ripe. So at least that's the thought behind this. I'm thinking these will be a little stronger instead of just completely liquefying with the larger calibers. So maybe there'll be a little more better comparison that way. As always, I do a bunch of gel tests on the channel. So if you guys want a more scientific approach to what this round does compared to this one, what this bullet does compared to that one, check out the rest of the channel and check out the gel test for that. So this is more fun today, but still, other than it being fun, it might give us a little different results than the watermelons did. So by the way, if you did not catch the watermelon video, I'll put a link to that in the description. And then after this, I got something I know is even tougher than these. I'm going to move to cabbages. So if these explode today, we got cabbages coming up next. So those are definitely a lot stronger, and they're not going to blow up unless you hit them with something with real good power there. That said, we're also going to do some version of this, at least watermelons with rifles and shotguns as well, maybe cantaloupes as well, but I'm doing more than just pistols, and actually probably more, probably before that I'll have rimfire rifles coming up, 22 long rifle, 22 Magnum, and 17 HMR. So we'll be firing in this order from left to right, smallest to largest caliber. So we'll start with the 22 long rifle, 380 ACP, 9mm, 40 Smith & Wesson, 45 ACP. So I had intended to, just like we did with the watermelon video, use hollow point ammunition. But of course, that's the one thing I forgot when I left the house. But I just filmed a Full Metal Jacket video on these cinder blocks. So I guess that's what we're using today. So likely I'll do a hollow point version later, but I guess it's not necessarily a bad thing, because this is going to really help us compare the power without the expanding rounds, exit holes and whatnot. So that would mean the Seguila Super Extra here, 40 grain round nose for the 22. Got a 95 grain Federal here. 115 grain Blazer Brass for the 9mm, 165 grain Federal for the 40, and for the 45, 230 grain Winchester. All right, so first up, 22 long rifle. So yeah, in the watermelon video, a whole lot more dramatic with hollow points. And there's the exit. A little low on that shot, but still a pretty center place shot there. All right, 380. Gun's always held open for me. So there's a 380 entry. And exit. Now for the 9mm. That's a little better, huh? Now the 40. That definitely shows a big difference between 9 and 40 there. compared to the watermelon video where they all just kind of exploded. Again, if you want to see that though, link in the description. And now the 45. That's a bigger, heavier, slower round there, guys, and that's about what I expected. Now, had some complaints on the watermelon video that I used 180 grain on the 40, and people were saying I should use 155, 165 because the 180 is heavy for a 40, which it is. So this time we went with a mid-weight there, 165. Whereas with the 45, we're using a heavyweight 230. So if you had used a 200 in there instead of a 230 in the 45, probably would have seen a little more damage. Honestly, don't think a lot though. So one advantage that, well, where is it here? The 40 has over these others is that flat nose, okay? So that hits a lot harder because it's flat instead of rounded. So that has a lot to do with the impact down there. Now, I've seen the same thing in my ballistic gel testing. I did one with FMJ. The 40 tore it up more, but it's not only due to the fact that it has more velocity than the 45, but that flat nose too hits a lot harder. And I would have used 200 grain if I had it, guys, but that's what I have in inventory. And if you guys buy very much 45 FMJ, usually it's 230 grain. So that said though, with your standard FMJ loads, your ball ammunition, the 40 Smith & Wesson actually does come out on top there with more energy than both 9 and 45. And even 9mm has a little more energy than 45 ball ammo does. But there's our entry with the 45. And there's the exit. Now when it comes to defense ammunition with hollow points, a 9mm, you can be anywhere as low as mid 300s, clear up to 500 foot-pounds of energy. Same thing with 40 Smith & Wesson, like high 3s, low 4s, clear into the 500s. I've even seen a 600 here and there. And then with 45 ACP, kind of the same story. You can have defensive loads that are as low as 300.5 foot-pounds of energy, or clear up to 600 plus. So there's your entry holes in order from left to right: 22, 380, 9mm, 40, 45. And then there's your exit holes. Wow, really? 22 had a bigger exit hole than the 380. Alright, so anyways, it probably tumbled in there or something. That's probably why. So the 22, 380, 9mm, 40, 45. So like I said, guys, the hollow points would have been a lot more entertaining. However, I did still plan on doing an FMJ version, so I guess that's just what we get today. I will probably, most likely, redo this, same calibers, but with hollow points. And I still think most of those last three are going to just blow up, but we'll probably give it a go anyways at some point. I'm going to have revolvers coming up eventually when I can afford to attain them in the calibers. We're going to be doing shotgun and rifle as well. I think shotgun and rifle is probably pretty pointless on these, but maybe with some large watermelons there. So I'm going to cut her there before I ramble on too much there. So I appreciate you watching. Make sure you hit that like button if you like the video. If you're a new viewer, don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Links are in the description, guys, for any of the products you see me use in the videos. Way more than what I got out here today. So check that out if you want to get yourself some targets, target stand, shooting bag, earmuffs, etc. But as I said, I appreciate you stopping by, and I hope to see you on the next one.